Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the Purple Palace. I hope that everyone is having a great start to the new year. I missed you guys. I hope you missed me too. I have done a little bit of a digital detox the last 2 weeks. I spent the last few weeks in Florida, spending time with my family, a lot of times at my mom's house. She is a little fairy, and whenever I'm at her house, it's just so much sunshine and getting to relax, and I feel like I really needed that at the end of this year. I think sometimes there can be a lot of pressure to have things figured out and to compare ourselves to others, but I think the most important thing is to focus on feeling good. For example, I never have really any goal-related resolutions, but they're more based on what I want to feel. For example, I want to feel romantic, iconic, fun. I want to feel playful, because I really think that we can feel our way closer to our goals instead of working hard towards them. I think we can accomplish more by improving the way that we feel. And one way that I do that is by starting the morning in gratitude. Every thankful thought that we have is like a light that we turn on inside of ourselves. And the more lights you turn on, the brighter your day becomes. For example, you can start your day and say, I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my refrigerator. I'm thankful for my socks. Even silly things. They just really bring up your energy. You know, I think I meet a lot of people who are like, sort of victims of just the mood they wake up in. But the reality is that it's like a muscle that you have to train. It's something that you have to switch in your brain. For example, something I'll do is I'll write out my negative limiting beliefs in the morning that I have when I wake up, and then I'll switch them into positive thoughts and call it delusion, call it whatever you want, but it's honestly worked for me. And let's be delusional. Let's be optimistic this year. So I wanted to start off the year with a little gift for you guys, which is sharing my personal curated journal routine that I do every week with prompts that I created. The beauty of doing something, a check-in every week, is it's an occasion to check in with yourself on a consistent basis and how you feel. And it's really something that I think we have to curate very often. So I thought we could go to a little Parisian cafe and journal together. So get yourself a coffee, get yourself a tea, and we're going to journal together. And also get your journal, because you're going to need to write these prompts down. Taking myself out to dinner because I'm still jet lagged. So I woke up at 3 p.m. today because the US is 6 hours behind and it's so empty. But yeah, I was quite exhausted today, but I forced myself to get dressed up, and yeah, that's what I think is so beautiful, is we have the power to change our mood. I think so many people think that when you wake up, you're a victim of however you feel that day, but just listen to a few positivity podcasts, write out your affirmations, and I'm going to share with you guys my journaling routine that will make you feel so fucking good this year. Okay, girl, we are sitting at a little Parisian cafe by the window. Get your journal out because we're going to journal together. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, on a daily basis, I like to write out affirmations. It might seem like such a small thing, but it's going to make such a big difference in your day. Write out, I am strong. I am an elegant swan. I always have more than enough of what I need. I am fully supported in everything that I do. Just anything that will bring you up, and be as delusional as possible, because our thoughts create our feelings and our feelings create our reality. On top of this, once a week, I like to do a really thorough check in with myself, and I divide it into categories based on how I feel, my work goals, people I've seen, health and habits, and it really helps me to sort of put into perspective like what worked, who made me mad, when did I get triggered, when did I feel really good. So I'll usually do this check-in on a Sunday or a Monday whenever I have a bit of time, and it's really fun because you can make a date of it. You can take yourself to a cafe or you can take yourself outside. But anyway, I always like to start off with feeling. So the first question you can write down is, when did I have the most fun this week? When did I feel the most anxious or drained? I think pinpointing the things that drain us or make us anxious is really important because it could be people, it could be a situation, and sometimes we can't necessarily get out of those things. Maybe you're at a job and you're not at a place where you can quit right away, but knowing, and just pinpointing if it's the same thing consistently, know if you need to change. I know for myself, my life feels on fire and is the most sparkly when I'm my most whimsical, free-flowing self, and I cannot be that way when I'm in like a drained feeling. And so I really do like to pinpoint what made me have fun and what made me feel like shit. Next, and this is a really great one if you are an artist or creative person, is the creativity category. So the first question I ask myself is, did I get any new exciting ideas or breakthroughs this week? I don't know about you guys, but I have an abundance of ideas all the time. I'm always coming up with new things I want to do. My issue is never a lack of ideas. It's more about tracking those ideas and deciding which ones I want to develop upon. Sometimes I'll have certain breakthroughs around certain things, and it's really nice to note those down. Followed by, who or what inspired me this week? It could be a book, it could be an exhibition that you went to. It's also like a nice way to look back and think, oh, like this is what I was reading at the time. For example, me right now, I'm reading Madonna in a Fur Coat. And of course, whenever you're reading something, you are in that specific world. And I think that that's really interesting to reflect upon. What daydreaming made me feel good this week? I love this one. This is a new one that I added to my prompts recently because I really like to daydream a lot recently. I like to even like imagine situations that could be walking down the street and coming up with scenarios, anything that makes me feel good. Next category is confidence and self-love. How was I a good friend to myself this week? I'm laughing because I feel like I'm being so dramatic. How was I a good friend to myself this week? How was I an enemy? Sometimes our worst enemies are ourselves, and sometimes we get into a routine or we get stuck. And I think the important thing before changing our lives or starting a new habit or routine is seeing what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. For example, for myself, I've been really good about sticking to routines. I've been doing my yoga. I've been working on my projects. And I think that perhaps I was an enemy to myself this week, allowing myself to, have moments of those negative thoughts. And I'm not saying that those can never happen, but I just want to be very mindful of them so that I can work on them, It's not that these things will never happen, but I just want to be aware. I think awareness is the first step to anything. Next question is, when did I feel the most confident in myself? What was I doing? What was I wearing? I love this question because it already makes me feel good. I'm already thinking about, I felt really good when I was wearing these boots that I got for Christmas, and I put the time in to do my hair. And I don't know, for myself, I feel really confident when I am quite theatrical and when I feel like I'm allowing myself to take up a lot of space. And for example, for you, it could be like I felt the most confident when I was painting or when I was speaking up at work or whatever it is. I think it's really important to pinpoint those moments as well. And then, did I take any risks this week? How did it go? I feel like I'm reading this in like a cosmopolitan voice. These are like my teen my teen magazines I'd read with my sister when they'd have those quizzes in them. But yeah, I noticed that the most growth I've felt in my life is when I'm doing something different. I'm pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, because as we say, nothing grows in a comfort zone. I personally don't want to live the same day all the time. I really need challenges. I love learning new things. I love learning languages, taking new classes. I feel like every year I'm taking like a new class. Last year was ballet. This year I'm taking improv. So yeah, I always think that whenever we can take a risk, it's a good thing. All right, we only have 2 more categories. Next, I want to talk about relationships. Who did I see this week? How was it? I think some of the things that can weigh on us the most are the relationships in our life, because we're humans and we have a need for connection. And if you had a difficult conversation with somebody, or if you're feeling lonely, those moments can actually affect every other area of your life. So I'll write out the people that I saw. Like maybe I got a cafe with my friend Pauline. Maybe I did an event with somebody, or I had band practice, or this or that. And I want to talk about how those things went. Was there any moment where I felt especially good, or I was able to connect with this person? Who did I talk to the most this week? I think that they say that you become the product of the 4 people you spend the most time with, and I can only imagine that the person you talk to the most is the same. And I think it's also important to note who you talk to the most, because that's also usually one of the most important people in your life and your biggest supporter, hopefully. And maybe you're in a position where you didn't talk to anybody and you're like, myself, I don't know, ChatGPT, like it could be that. But it's just, I think it's important to pinpoint that, like who are the relationships that are like main characters in your life. The next one I really like is, what friend would I like to bring closer? We all have those people in our life that are sort of maybe acquaintances, but then we have like a little special bubble around them where we're like, I do want to get closer to you, but I just haven't gotten like the occasion or have the time to do so yet. Who are those people for you? If there is anybody, a coworker or somebody that you met that you'd like to get close to, I think that's a nice one to note as well. If there's nobody, that's fine too. Sometimes we're just like in our solo era, and that's fine. The last category is work. And I want to start off with a positive question, which is, did I have any wins this week? Your wins could be super small. You could have gotten to work on time. You could have consistently, answered emails. It could be something really small, but I think it's really nice to note like your progress, Next question along with work is, what routines helped me in my workflow? And last is, did I accomplish any goals this week related to work? If there are things that you didn't have time to do, that's okay too. Like I remember there was a certain period in my life where I was writing these massive to-do lists, you guys. It was ridiculous. And I would end up feeling like shit at the end of every day because I wasn't able to finish my to-do list. And then one day I was like, maybe you need to just make a shorter to-do list. You know what I mean? Like, why? It's almost like trying to change your body to fit into a certain pair of pants. Like, just buy pants that fit you. You know what I mean? But those are the questions and the categories that really help me get in touch with myself, whether that is through how I feel, my creativity, confidence, and to actually track over time what's working and what's not working. And what I like to do to end it is sort of prepare for the next week. And I'll ask myself a few questions about next week. And then I also ask myself, how do I want to feel next week? And next week I want to feel romantic, in the sense of I want to romanticize my life. I want to feel sparkly. And so maybe I'll go buy myself some flowers. Maybe I will take myself to watch a movie. Actually, no, I don't like to do that. I don't like going to the movie theaters anymore. I don't know. But that's just like an idea. But you see, because I asked myself that question, I know I don't want to do that, that is it, you guys. This is how I journal for creativity, self-love. I really hope that you guys could find this interesting and also maybe get a little bit of insight of how I nourish myself. I think the beauty as well is, like I said, you can make a date of it, you know, and it can be something that motivates you. I like to always kind of take myself out to do these, and I went that night to a little restaurant, and yeah, it's just a cute little outing. I also wanted to add, if you're looking for a beautiful journal or more prompts like these, I put out a workbook for creatives and empaths with a lot of similar questions and weekly prompts like these. It's called I Love Being Sensitive, a guide for creatives and empaths. As well as I have an affirmation journal series, which is a collection of journals that I put out with an original painting on the cover, and each journal is themed, whether it's the I'm So Lucky journal or I Believe in My Dreams journal, I Know Where I Belong. I'll link those down below as well, and I put them up on sale for the holiday season. So if you want a new journal, I will link those down below. Let me know how you want to feel this year, and thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to do all the vlogs and all the fun things together this year. It's gonna be a great year, and even if we have moments of doubt and darkness and sadness, the important thing is the routines that we can come back to. So I love you guys. Have a great week, and I will see you next time on the Purple Palace.